What is the stupidest reason you sent yourself to the hospital? Turned around on the stairs to call my cat fat and badly sprained my ankle. I thought I had broken it because there was an audible crunch and I felt something pushing up inside my foot. X-rays didn't show a break. The doctor told me serves you right when I told him what happened. My ex broke her foot trying to avoid stepping on a cat, and the doc told us that pets constitute a huge percentage of the cause of household injuries. So true. I broke my ankle in June and still recovering, all from tripping and landing on a Kong rubber toy. While in the hospital, the staff told me so many stories of people coming in because of similar and other pet-related injuries. I was shocked at just how common and frequent it really is. My cow stepped on my foot. And then she proceeded to lick me while I was sitting there in extreme pain. I love her. Fell into the only prickly pear cactus in a 100-mile radius. Did they get the pricks out in a cool way, or did they all have to be tweezed? Lol. What's a cool way? I come trying to learn the trade secrets. You're a nut and I love you. I once ended up in the ER after attempting to pet a porcupine, wondering if it had a hidden talent for acupuncture. Trapped gas frown after an ultrasound. The nurse came in and explained it to me. Shortly after I stand up to get dressed and leave, nurse is helping me as I'm still in pain, and I let out the longest, most explosive sounding fart I've ever farted. Such instant relief and such innocent giggles from me and the nurse. My father did something similar. I was home from college and taking care of my dad a couple days after a heart surgery. He wakes me up at 3 a.m. freaking out, telling me he's having chest pain really bad. I threw on pants and we hit the highway to the ER. I hit a construction plate in the road a little hard and this bounced my dad very violently. Then I hear it. It sounds like a chainsaw failing to start up and smells like death. I'm fine now. Sorry. Followed by crying laughter and a U-turn back home. Did a flip off of a table to impress some girls. I'm sure they all visited in hospital? No frown lol. Dark times. F. And found out you have a 4-inch dick. Tried breakdancing on a slippery floor to impress my crushes, ended up breaking bones instead. Turns out gravity wasn't impressed either. When I was in college, I had my mom's home-cooked meal that I accidentally left out overnight. I tried to eat it anyway. 24 hours of it coming out of both ends, and one ER visit later, I realized it. I learned a valuable lesson. At least you didn't die like that kid who left pasta out and ate it after a week. Hi. Dr. Bernard here. Lamau a week? It was left overnight before his roommate put it in the fridge, where it sat for a week. Hello. Ever done something so ridiculous that you actually ended up in the hospital? Yeah, I've been there too. So, if you fancy a good laugh and want to share your own hilarious stories, just drop a comment below. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on this one. Got stuck in the ankle by a porcupine quill. Found out I'm allergic to porcupines. Eyes swelled shut, kind of scary. Then, on crutches, couldn't wear contacts for a week so I couldn't really see. I tripped and fell down the stairs after class at college, hurt my arm/wrist. Sprain, had to wear a brace. The worst week. And I have since had to list porcupines under my list of allergies. Wow, I didn't know people could be allergic to porcupines. Please list your allergies, I'm curious. Oh no. Knowing my exhaustive list of animal allergies, I should avoid porcupines at all costs. I bet that allergy is a porcupine-itis. I didn't feel like finding the finger guard for my mandolin. Sliced the tip of my finger off. Got like 4 to 5 stitches. Never again will I use a mandolin. Same here, slicing cucumbers for a big party at our house. Couldn't find the tip in my panic of trying to stop the bleeding. Decided to just leave for the hospital. Now I got a lopsided fingertip. My sister came to the house while I was at the hospital and found it sitting on top of a slice of cucumber. When I got back, she showed me and said it was the most fucked up piece of sushi she's ever seen. Same thing happened to my partner, didn't use the guard and sliced off his thumb pad. I grabbed it and they sewed it back on. Didn't take but helped the healing. My mom sent us a beginner's mandolin, the instrument, as a joke afterwards. Finished the sentence before I read it, and for a quick second my brain said it said she's ever ate. I learned the hard way that sandwiching my finger between 2 cinder blocks to see if I could recreate a medieval torture trick was definitely not as cool as it sounded in my head. Giving myself food poisoning by undercooking chicken. Woke up in the middle of the night around 2 a.m. Start going to the bathroom, relieving myself from the bottom and emptying from the top. Kept puking till I couldn't even keep water down. Thought I was gonna go into shock and die. Lived alone during this time in my own place. 7 a.m. Called my mom, no answer. Called my uncle, no answer. Called my dad, no answer. Called grandma. She answers half asleep. Hello? Op? PLS help, I think I'm going to die. D. Picks me up, get to ER. I can't move PLS, I need a wheelchair, they will me in. Sit in the lobby 30 minutes. For health insurance purposes. Dropped my phone on my face. I dropped a Nokia on my baby's face when they were like 4 months old. The kid is 21, and I still have such a vivid memory of it. I don't know how there was not an injury, but thank God there wasn't. It was in my purse, the little buckle didn't get snapped. I bent to pick baby up off the floor and it slid out. Babies are bouncy, resilient little fuckers, for the most part. I dropped my phone on my kid's face when I was taking a picture of him in his snuspod. He didn't even cry, because he was and remains a little champ, and this was 4 years ago. Phones aren't that heavy anymore. But I feel guilty to this day. I once managed to dislocate my jaw while attempting to take a massive bite of pizza like a champ. Turns out my mouth was not quite ready for stardom. My friend got over his seafood allergy and had a bowl of shrimp. I thought I'd do the same and eat some pistachios. My brother is allergic to shellfish, and one time, I think maybe he was 10 or a little younger/older, we were camping and I walked behind the camper and see my brother teaching my little cousin how to eat shrimp. I ran so fast to my parents and we spent hours in the ER. Okay, that is funny as hell. Being Delphi allergic only to mussels or so, I thought I binge ate an entire bag of Reiner cherries and blew up like Violet Beauregarde, only not purple. Not as purple. I once thought it'd be a great idea to test my I can play it safe skills by sticking my hand in a beehive, hoping they had turned into butterflies. Spoiler alert, they hadn't. Washed 1 foot in a ceramic sink. Tripped and ripped the sink of the wall. Fell in the ceramic debris and cut my back badly. Saw my spine. This took 8 weeks to heal. Saw my spine, well, if you insist. I'm trying to imagine how bad an injury must have been for your head to be turned that far around that you could see your own spine. I'm sorry to break the illusion, but he was in the bathroom. He probably just turned around to look in the mirror. I once thought it was a great idea to trim my own bangs with kitchen scissors, only to end up looking like a disgruntled hedgehog for the next 3 months. I got hit by a truck in the 7th grade because I didn't have my glasses. I didn't have my glasses because I'd lost them in a car accident the day prior. The hospital I was taken to recognized me from the car accident and called my mother. He needs his glasses. He can't see without his glasses. It took a second for my brain to catch up with why this quote pained my soul. Thanks for reigniting this childhood trauma, providing a moment of nostalgia. It's Pavlov. I instantly started crying when I read this. Felt it in the pit of my stomach, too. Take it easy, Satan. Threw a tennis ball in the air, attempted to catch it, and I ended up slipping on wet grass and broke my arm. I don't want to laugh at this, but my triage nurse is so fucking hot. Oh, fantasies. This is my kind of accident. I once thought it'd be a brilliant idea to show off my ninja skills by trying to catch a sneeze with chopsticks. Let's just say my nostrils are not as coordinated as I hoped. In training, I was unable to have a bowel movement for around 4 days and I had to hobble to the base clinic because my abdomen hurt so much. Turned out to be appendicitis. That's no stupid reason. It's not like you gave yourself appendicitis by doing something dumb. Probably more sad than stupid, but I flinch hard when I hear blasts. I'm Syrian. In middle school, a kid popped a juice box and I instinctively tried to get down, only to ram my head on my thermos. LMWO im SOS Ori for laughing. Goofing around in the pig barn at my cousin's. Was told to stay out of the pig barn. Sliced open the back of my thigh on a sharp edge of sheet metal. 5 years old, screaming my head off in the ER as they stitch up the 4-inch cut. Thankfully just skin and fat, no muscle or tendons involved. Was the beginning of summer, couldn't swim for weeks, seemed like forever in my 5-year-old mind. Totally sucked because I lived in the water as a child. And I live in the land of 10,000 lakes, so we were often at one. Was expecting this to be much worse, like you knocked yourself out and the pigs had a nibble.